Today I'm going to show you how to make one of my all-time favorite recipes to meal prep and eat on throughout the week. It is just made with simple ingredients that are so nutritious, and you are going to love the way that it tastes. I'll be using just a baking pan lined with aluminum foil that I'll set aside for now. I'll be using these beautiful beet leaves from some pickled beets that I made at the beginning of the week that were just gorgeous. And I'm also going to be using some fresh broccoli sprouts that I've been growing throughout the week. These are super easy to grow and I love to have them on hand at all times. I'll be using 1 onion and 2 bell peppers along with 3 zucchinis. I also have 2 cups of basmati rice here that I'll be infusing with my beet leaves later on, and a can of cooked chickpeas that I'll be roasting with my vegetables. So to begin, I'm just going to use my fresh beet leaves, and it's really important to remember when you are using fresh beet leaves to clean them thoroughly. I like to soak mine in a bowl of water with about 1/4 of a cup of vinegar and then give them just another quick rinse. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chop these up roughly just so that it gives them a head start for when we put them in the food processor and it's easier for me to fit it all in there. Next, I'm going to be slicing my onion, and I'm going to use half of my onion to go in my beet leaf infused rice and the other half to go with my roasted veggies. I also just remembered that I have some cilantro on hand from when I made salsa this past week, and that will pair really nicely with my beet leaves. I'm going to use some garlic, and I'm going to just smash the garlic so that the skin is easily taken off, and I'm able to mince it into small pieces so that I won't have a lot of big chunks. When you make this recipe, you can use any type of leafy green that you have on hand. Spinach also works really nicely, and kale as well. I'm going to saute the onion and the garlic in my Instant Pot using a little bit of avocado oil. Avocado oil is great because it has a high heat point and it's really good for you. Add the onion and the garlic, and then I'll saute it until it gets nice and fragrant. I love to cook my rice in organic chicken bone broth because it adds tons of protein and great flavor. And since I used 2 cups of rice, I'm going to use equal parts of bone broth and do 2 cups bone broth. So I'll measure this out really quickly. Go ahead and put it in my food processor. Adding my cilantro and my beet leaves in between each cup. I love cooking my rice with leafy greens because it adds so much nutrients as well as some delicious flavoring. So I'm just going to add this last cup of bone broth into the food processor and it will be ready to blend. As the mixture blends together, it will turn into more of a green juice with very small tiny bits of your leafy greens at the bottom. They'll be hardly noticeable at all and still provide great flavor to our rice. Now that the onion and garlic are sauteing, I'm going to rinse my rice thoroughly using a strainer. I hear my Instant Pot now beeping to let me know that the sauteing is now complete. And I'm just going to add my rinsed rice straight to the bottom of the Instant Pot and saute it along with my onion and my garlic just for a minute to kind of give it a nice little toast. Now it's time to add our green mixture into the pot. I'm going to remove the lid and just dump it in there nice and gently. And once it's in, I'm going to give it a quick stir to make sure that it's distributed evenly. And look at this really pretty color we have. Oh, it's going to taste so good. And you're going to want to keep making your rice this way for the added flavor and nutrients. Next, I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of this ghee, and it's going to give it a lovely buttery flavor. Then I'm going to make sure that my lid is sealed, and I'll select the pressure cook option and turn it up to 6 minutes so that my rice can cook to a nice and fluffy texture. And as that's cooking, I'll go ahead and prepare my vegetables. So I'm just going to slice up each bell pepper in small, even strips. Then before I add it to the pan, I'll coat it with a little bit of olive oil just to prevent sticking. Up next is the zucchini, and I'll just slice these in half moons, and you can do them however you like, but this is how I prefer. Then I'll chop up the rest of my onion and add that to the pan. So now that everything is chopped and prepared, I'm gonna go ahead and get everything seasoned. So I'm gonna start off with a little bit of Himalayan salt. I'll just sprinkle that evenly over all the vegetables, along with onion powder, garlic powder, and a little bit of smoked paprika, which I prefer. It's a little bit strong, so you don't want to use a ton, and some coriander and pepper. Now I'm going to drizzle a little bit of avocado oil over the top because, like I said, it has a high heat point, and give it a good mix. Once everything is mixed together, I'm going to add our can of cooked chickpeas, and then we're going to bake. And now our rice is already finished. It's been on low for about 4 minutes, so it still has a lot of pressure inside because the red button is up. So I'm going to cover it with a towel and release the pressure. It's very hot, so be careful. You don't want to get near this because it will burn you. Oh, and look how beautiful our rice is. It is going to taste delicious. It has absorbed everything perfectly, and I cannot wait to eat this. It has a beautiful color, and the texture turned out great. Roasted the veggies for about 25 to 30 minutes at 425 degrees, and now we have a delicious combo ready to go on our Nourish Salad. Not only is this great on a salad, but it can also be used in different ways throughout the week. So I'm going to meal prep the rest of the rice and the veggies because sometimes I like to put it in a burrito or eat it by itself if I make some fresh chicken or fish, and it's just a wonderful thing to have on hand. But let's go ahead and make our salad. So what I have here is just some organic lettuce, and I'm going to take 2 large handfuls and place them in the bowl. And it may seem like a lot, but once we give them a nice chop, they will downsize considerably. I'm just going to use these shears and slice them. Now, if you have a lettuce slicer, that's even better, but I don't. So you want to chop it until it's about that size. And then I'm going to add the rice and the veggie mixture to the top of that salad, along with some fresh pickled beets that I just really enjoy. I also have a video on how to make foolproof pickled beets, some carrots for a nice crunch, and my fresh broccoli sprouts that I always keep on hand. Super easy to grow. Then I'll add 1 hard-boiled egg for some extra protein, along with some hemp hearts. I love to add these to whatever I can, and a little bit of hummus for my dressing. This is such a delicious salad, and I hope you give it a try for yourself. I was actually able to make 8 other meals with my leftover rice and veggies to munch on throughout the week.